So today I want to give my final thoughts, at least, on this. This is a 13.1 foot Regatta bell tent from White Duck Outdoors. It is quite arguably one of the most robust tents I've ever been in my entire life. It's got this duck canvas material that it actually is built out of. It's actually, this one specifically is fire and water retardant. And it actually, if you look at this, why it's all drapey and full of stuff, it just went through 2 storms in a row. Both of them pretty severe, lots of wind, lots of rain. A couple of the guy lines actually on the backside of the tent got pulled out, and I actually have video footage of it. Now, nobody was in the tent when it happened. I was inside my house. I actually had set it up to get a couple videos done for some other products, and in the end, I had to talk about it here on this video. So we're just going to talk a little bit about this guy, the Regatta bell tent from White Duck Outdoors. Hey guys, welcome back to CampGeeks. And like I said, this is not I'm not going to go through every single thing possible. I did a full install or setup video with this tent. I've used this tent now a couple of 3 different times on 3 different trips. It is quite fantastic. I've also done a trip with a Girl Scout troop, and they actually slept in this tent where I was in one of my tents. The neat thing about this tent is it's actually really easy to set up. There are quite a few stakes that go around the tent. You can see all the guy lines that actually are built onto the tent. They don't come off, so you just throw it out and start staking stuff down. They're not tensioned right now because this was very wet over the last 3 days. After getting stormed on 2 days in a row. Today it's been drying all day. Thankfully we haven't had any rain, but it looks like tomorrow we get more coming. So that said, it is incredibly water resistant. That was the one thing that I was really looking forward to test, and the last time I used it in the field, we got stormed on. Actually, a severe thunderstorm on that one as well. Dumped on. Didn't leak at all. This time, and I'll show the video from my security camera to show how this got pummeled. Specifically, we had a downburst out of when the front came through. The whole tent rocked, and it pushed the backside of the tent down so hard that 3 of the guy lines popped out of the ground. Now, it was soft ground, obviously, from all the rain and such, but it did happen. I don't have the guy lines out as far as I typically would, just because of space and my dogs and all sorts of stuff around here. So that's why it's kind of sagged down a little bit. But if you put them out a little bit further, you can actually stretch it out wider. And so this actually would lift up a little more with not as heavy of an angle. That said, you can see that you can set this up in a lot of different ways. There is a mesh door behind this. I have the solid door on here because I'm actually also going to be doing a video on an air conditioner, and I want to see how well it does in this tent. That's actually why I got this out, was to test out this portable air conditioner from EcoFlow. And I tested it for a little bit, just one day, but I still have to get the full tests done and the video done on it. But this is just a canvas door, more to hold the heat in for me. So for me to test this thing, and of course to hold the cool in. But that said, you can pull these doors back and just do a full mesh door as well. It's a single center pole in the middle that's just popped up, nothing fancy. And then there's another pole right here. If you can see the front here. I highly recommend you checking out the full setup video of this tent, because that's what you'll actually see how everything goes together. I do it right here in my yard here as well, so nothing new there. That said, the big thing about this tent is it is very sizable. I think they call this a 6-person tent. You can easily get 6 people in there. You could get 8 people in there. If they're kids, you can get probably 10 people in there. There's a lot of room in this bad boy. And that's the thing about it. But if you really want to see all the in-depth of it, definitely check out my other video on it, because you can see everything, how everything goes together, and you get a size feeling while everything's in there. But more than anything, I want to do the review on this at the end here, the final thoughts more, because it just pummeled. And not joking, there was a rain spot in there like this big, and I'll show you here in a second what I came to, because the whole back end was laying down. So I thought there was a lot of rain getting in, because the window was literally on the ground rather than being vertical. And there are 3 windows spaced around the tent that you can open up and allow air to pass through. No, there was almost no water in there. I would tell you that it didn't leak. It just had a little bit of water that dripped in. On the very, very back of the tent. Everything else was bone dry, and it got a ton of rain. In all reality, it could have been from the river that was running underneath the tent to go down my backyard, because there's a, I don't know if you probably can't see it on the video, but literally we get like a river of water when it really rains. So it could have been from that. I am very impressed by that. Now this also has the fire retardant fabric in addition to being water repellent. So if you use a stove, or if you're even near a campfire, you have less worry about hot embers or whatever falling on it and starting a fire. I still wouldn't want to have a hot ember fall on it to burn a hole in it, but that said, it is a very robust tent. And that comes with cost, in that it is a heavy sucker. Fully packed in its big bag, this thing is like 65 pounds. It is not light. This might be closer to 70 pounds. It is not a light tent. You could definitely work your way around that by getting rid of some of the stakes, because literally these stakes that they come up with are bent rebar, which they're not light. These are heavy stakes. So you could replace these with an aluminum stake and really put the weight down, but of course they're not going to be as robust as this, right? I guess that's the full thoughts on the White Duck Regatta bell tent. Okay, so we just came through a very, very, very severe thunderstorm, and this guy did actually pretty good, other than it looks like a few guy lines in the backside got pulled out. Yeah, it looks like just the stuff over here, but this is also the loose soil back here. So just 3 of them from the wind. I guess I'll check the inside after I get this pulled. All right, so those 3 stakes are back in, so now we're back to good, but I wonder how much water got in from that side laying flat. It's almost dry. Like it's like just right there. A little rain came in there, but nothing came through the windows. That's where I thought it was going to come through. Holy crap! It took a pounding. So that little bit on the floor, that's nothing. That's pretty awesome. Now, of course, you might be asking yourself, how much does one of these cost? It's not cheap, right? They come in different sizes. This is not the smallest size. This is not the biggest size. It is the 13-foot version. The water repellent version is about $700. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't get incentives on there or get a discount on it, but that's the retail on it. This version, I think, is like $930 with the fire retardant option and water repellency. And that is, of course, fully packed with everything you need to set it up and use it. It does have a window or a pad over there to put an actual stove inside here for winter use. And you can leave this up for the winter. It is incredibly awesome. There's so much about this tent that is just so well built, but it is large and bulky when you pack it up, and it is heavy, and that's the big things about it. Like I said, I actually might go through this to see if I can't trim down some of the weight and as well as some of the packing, because in all reality, you probably could put on different guy lines that were much thinner, really strong paracord with aluminum stakes and get the weight down more, but it's not going to be as robust as it is with what it comes with probably. So that said, guys, that is White Duck Outdoors Regatta bell tent, 13-footer. I have a lot of good things to say about it. I really do. It's not perfect, but it's got tons of space. So thanks for watching to the end. Catch you back here on CampGeeks for another future video review or setup video or, well, anything and all things outdoors. See you soon.